Hi everyone. Glad you could join me today. This is all new to me, doing a video, so I know I look and sound stupid, but just, forgive me. I can't help it. That's who I am. But anyway, I wanted to kind of go over some things that are new to us, and things are still going to be changing. But excuse me. One of the things I know you've noticed is we've got a couple of new forms, and these will generally be done at the time that a student comes for the very first time and they are enrolling. The only time you really need to worry about it is if it's a returning student and they've just come to class and want to start coming to class again. You just double check and ask them if they have filled out this. It's called the WIOA. It says right up here, the WIOA. And then they do need to fill it out, except for the areas where it is shaded out. Those, though, do not need to worry about. The rest, they do need to answer yes or no, okay? And then down here at the bottom. So if you could make sure that they would do that and just make sure it gets put into their green folder, alrighty? The other thing that is new, and this is just like within the last week or so, this is just giving permission for post-secondary schools to get scores and things released for if they want to go into post-secondary education. And because I've got some, and I've asked that you put your initials in the top corner so that I guess the right-hand corner, so we know who is instructor. But I've got several right now that I cannot even read the signatures. So I've had to go in and I've had to add a line, ask them to print their name so that I can put them in with their attendance, or excuse me, not their attendance, but their enrollment form. So those two are very important that I get those into their green folders. The folder, this is the year that when we get audited, this is the year that they are going to be looking at us. So I need to make sure everything is in accordance with KYAE, and we are in compliance with everything. So if it feels like to you that I'm pushing, and hey, where's this? Hey, where's that? You need to do this. It's because I don't want to get stuck at the end of the school year going like, well, where's this? Where's this? So if we can keep on top of it, and after a while it becomes second nature and we won't need to worry about it anymore. Okay. The other thing that I know you're aware of is the way we are doing attendance. Most of all of you know how to sign in. I've given you a username and password to go in to take attendance. So you log in, click the attendance. When the student comes in, they'll use their username and password to sign in, and then they will sign out at the end of classroom time. Alrighty. And one way you're going to know if a student has been enrolled and if they have a username and password is because after they've been to your class for the very first time, so they've been to orientation, they've done their tape testing, they've come to your class for the very first time, alrighty? And when you get their folder, you're going to know that this person has been enrolled because I have a orange slash here. So what happens is they come to your class the first time, you put the green folder, the manila folder, everything into the to be enrolled. I will enroll them. Then they get this little orange slash, and a lot of times I'll write on there that electronic sign in out. All right, so you'll know. The other way you'll know that they are enrolled is because they now have a username and password, and they need to make sure that they remember this. You can either keep it in your manila folder or give it to them and let them be responsible for it. But I'm asking you to ask them to do not change the password, because if something happens, they come in, they forget the password, they don't know what it is, then we're in trouble. They won't be able to sign in, sign out for the day. As a backup, I still want you to go ahead and do this, log in, the sign in, sign out at the front table, okay? Once the student's enrolled, you do not put them in the manila folder anymore. You do not sign them in, you do not sign them out. The only thing you will do, and this will be on top, this will be inserted into the student folder, and this is where you are only going to do the distance learning. Okay, so you have the time, the distance learning, Looks like she's got total hours on there. I don't know why both are on there, but that's okay. Maybe just put a check mark there. I don't know. But I do want you to put down what you assigned them for distance learning. So that's the only thing you're going to do is to record distance learning, and then you also put it on the manila card. You do not need to log in the hours that they were in your classroom. So we're only keeping track of distance learning. When they sign into CARES, that's going to keep track of their hours. And of course, it's not in 15-minute increments like we've been doing. It's in the minute-to-minute increments. So don't worry about that. That all gets washed out in the end, and everything, is just fine. So this distance learning will be on top of the sign-in sheet that was in there to begin with. If a student forgets to sign in or out, like it did the other day, I had a student that signed out when she came to class. She didn't sign in. The only thing she did is when she left, she goes, "Oh, I need to sign out." And she signed out at, 7:55, something like that. So when I got into CARES the next morning, my report showed that there was, I needed to correct an attendance. And so I have to contact the instructor and say, hey, it looks like she clocked out but not in. And we'll look on the sign-in sheet. When I looked on the sign-in sheet, she didn't sign that either. That's why it's important to go ahead and do that sign-in sheet as a backup at the front of the room. And so if I ever have a question, you can say, oh yeah, they signed in at this time and they signed out at that time. All right, so that's, we really need to keep that if we possibly can. So that saved some time, and that allowed the student to go ahead and get their time. We are encouraging you still to assign your distance learning, give them the fast forward, give them when. I'm going to show you some when in just a couple of minutes. But as far as the attendance goes, for those of you who have not been here, you've been out because you're lazy, been on vacation, just kidding. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to have to spin my computer around because I'm not technically savvy to try to get it the other way. So what I want to do is, hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to sign in. Please don't let this up. Okay, so you go to CARES. It's K-A, there it is, kaers.ky.gov. And let me move this down. Right now I have given everybody my username and password because yours are not working at this time. So username and password. All right, when you're going to sign them in, you've logged in. And now we want to go to attendance. And then you will go student sign in. And it comes to this screen. They do not put the driver's license in. They use the user ID, and then their password. Then they click sign in. When they leave, they come back in and they do the same thing. And it's the sign in, sign out button. The computer recognizes that it's a sign in, sign out. All righty. So that's, I think that's pretty easy. Getting on to the next thing that looks like I'm going to have to sign back in. This doesn't. Let's see if I can sign back in. Because I do want to show you the when. Once you are signed in, once your student gets signed in, log into when. I want you to start assigning homework through when, and I'm going to show you why. Once you get into when, let's expand my screen. Okay, as you can see, you've got your career readiness, which is the NCRC, college ready, which is going to help the students with their GED, and the soft skills. Then you can come in here and you can look at the reports with the students who are working and doing what they're supposed to be doing. So let's go ahead and look at the college readiness, which is for your GED. when the students come in, they click in. The very first thing they have to do is they have to do a pretest, just like anything else, okay? And there's an introduction, which look at me, I got 100%. And then I took the pretest and I got an 81. Yay me. And I'm just now starting to go into the course progress. And I'll show you a little bit about and this is for every single one. And I'm in the course. Take the course. And there we are. We've got some reading, and I know this has sound, but this computer, it's not going to have the sound, but it does have audio that the students will be able to listen. And they will be going through the little mini lessons for each one of the classes. So this one's on properties of numbers, types of numbers, blah, 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 all this, stuff like that, okay? And then they will work through each one, and then they're going to take a post test. It'll show them directions on how to take the post test, and then they'll take the post test. And I do believe they have to get an 80% or higher in order to be able to move on to the next level. Alrighty? And that's going to be the same with, if you notice, that's all the pre-algebra, and then you've got algebra, geometry, and those of you who are doing language arts, you've got reading and you've got writing in English. So make sure you utilize this so students can get, distance learning, especially when we're out for holidays or whatever. Going back to my dashboard, and I'm going to look at the career readiness and locating information, okay? This is the one that we have the most difficult time on. You can use the math. If you're in a math class, there are students in a math class, you can use this as distance learning time, all right? If you're in a language class, you can assign the reading and the locating the information as homework or distance learning, and they can count it. And I think that this keeps track of the hours and the time that they spent, but you still might want to say, hey, keep track of how much time you used, okay? And then the students can get the extra time. We do have reports. It will show you the activity report. You will be able to select your class once you set your class up, and that's really easy. You can come in here and anybody can do that. And then, okay, I need to look to see if, let's see my class. The dates, I wanted to say from August the 1st, and then I gave them a week to do it, and then again on August the 8th, and I want to download the report. Okay, well, nobody did, people in aliens class didn't do anything that day, but you'll be able to look and see who has done something, and then it will also list the total activity time. So it is going to give you the hours of a time that the person has put into doing their homework. So that's just a quick view of WIN, and I really do want you to use the WIN. It's really is a good tool. They've made some good decisions and made some good changes on it. So please go ahead and I can't say it enough, use it. Okay, along with the fast forward. Now I know we've had some issues with fast forward too, and I'm hoping that we are getting that straightened out. I think they had some updates over the summer, and it dropped the instructors. So I think we've got them all fixed. Maybe Vanessa's the only one who's not able to view reports, but as of this afternoon, Mike said everyone is in there and they are fixed. So that being said, fast forward and WIN should be, I should be seeing a lot of that taking place. Even if you assign it during class time, have one or two computers up. So if you want to work with someone that needs some extra help, have maybe one or two computers set up in the classroom and allow the students time to practice while they're here. You can use it as class time and extra help, especially those who are in the more advanced. Give them the algebra and the geometry to work on while you're working with maybe some students that aren't quite up that level yet. You use your best judgment. Another thing that I've noticed is I have seen some instructors using videos to support their lessons, and I think that's great, especially when you were introducing a new lesson. For instance, I think I saw fractions or decimals. I think it was decimals, and they used a video to introduce the lesson, and I think that's a great idea. It helps the student with the understanding. It gives them another perspective. But one thing I don't want to do is I don't want you to have that video as the lesson. You guys are great instructors. That's why Paul has hired you. So don't use the videos to do the teaching. You are a good instructor. I want you to go ahead and do the teaching, and I hear a lot of good teaching going on. And Paula, has commented to me in the evening time, listening to the teachers teach their students. We really do enjoy hearing that. So as a supplement, videos are okay, but not to teach a class. So we'll just stick with that, and hopefully everyone will be hunky-dory with that. Let me see. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not. I think NCRC. Once a student has earned a silver level, they may not reattempt that silver to try to raise the score. We pay for one. So if they get a gold, and a silver, they cannot retake that silver to try to get a gold. We've had the Knicks put down. We had the hammer drop down on us about that. So no more. If they want to try to get that silver up to a higher level, they can go to KCC or find another place to take it. And some places may charge them. I don't know what the policy is, but we can no longer give them a second attempt to get higher than a silver. So I think that's going to be imperative of why we go ahead and use the WIN, and so they can study with the NCRC with the locating information, because we all know that's the one that's the hardest for all the students. I don't know that there's a whole lot left. Let me see. One of the other things I went to was contextualizing our lessons, and contextualizing is bringing in real life experiences, real life job situations into the classroom. And when I went to this PD, they had us set up in areas that where the most prominent job placement would be in your area. And in our area, it's nursing and it's manufacturing. I do have a complete set. I mean, it's a huge binder full of everything that has to do with manufacturing, situations, surveys, just everything you can think of. So it's something that you should be bringing into your classroom. I will be glad to let you use it. It's just right inside my class, inside my office on that long table. You'll know it because it's the huge, big, gigantic binder. If you want to look at it and try to get some copies made for whatever it is you want, that's fine. I do not have the nursing one, unfortunately. Somebody else got that book. But I do have links. I do have the links for that, and I will provide those through an email. So keep an ear out and eye out for the email, and so that you will be able to see some more of those contextualized lessons. So I'm pretty sure that you all will be doing that. So yeah, anyway, we've done a few level gains already. Because speaking of that, that's the 6 weeks reports. I've had a few turned in already. If you haven't turned yours in, please get it to me, within a week after the 6 week period ends. So if you haven't turned yours in yet, if you would go ahead and let me have that. We have had one GED so far, and we've got several more level gains. I know it's going to be, I forgot to show that to you in CARES. I can still show that to you. How to look for your student hours. If you go, well, we don't have those log sheets anymore. How am I supposed to keep track of your hours? I will show you how to do that right now. So let's swing back around to our CARES. I need you to hear my finger fall. So let's swing you back, and hopefully you can see this. Alrighty, I think I'm going to have to get back out. There we go. From this, your main page, everybody has access to this. You want to come to reporting, click on view report, select the report type, and you do want attendance, report name, student attendance. Okay, it's for the fiscal year 2017. Our region, do the drop down box. You only have one to select. The location, you're only going to have one to select. And then if you notice over here, we've got all of the students who are currently enrolled. That's every single student. You will have to go in there and pick your own student. So if I just want this person right here, let me pick someone who's got, let me see. I don't know if people, are people turning in homework? I don't know. All right, I'll just stick with this one. So this 6 weeks began basically July the 1st through August 12th. And then I want to click the review report. And there we go. This student has a total of 3.17 hours. On 8/9, he was here for 1.5 hours. And then on 8/11, he was 1.1 hour and 15 minutes. That's what that is. And then another 52 minutes. I don't know what OL means. I don't know, but it still says learning center. That might be where he was in the computer lab, because sometimes if a student is in your class and they run over the time of that particular class period, the class period time will show up, and then the rest of the time shows up in a computer lab, but they still get credit, as you can see, for the whole time. Okay, so don't worry about that. So, you can still do that. So whenever I want to do, let me see, when did we get out of here? We want August the 15th. And then we'd say, okay, this person right here, view report. And this person did not attend. Let's find someone let's see this person, if she's been here since that time. I don't know. There we go. This student has been here for a total of 3.93 hours. On the 16th, 7 minutes. So this is the funky one. Okay, so she's got a split time between regular classroom time and computer lab time because of overlapping of time. Don't worry about it. All her time is accounted for. Alrighty. So don't worry about that. When you give them the distance learning, I'll put distance learning in. That's why if I knew exactly someone I may have put distance learning on, I could look it up. But let's see this one right here. Okay, this is class time. But as you can see, this person's been for this many hours. So you get the gist, okay? You can do that. So for each 9 weeks, you can go in there, select your students, select the time period, and put their time down. Okay, so and that will help you a whole lot. Alrighty, I just have maybe just one or two little other things that we I need just to let you know about. I guess it's really come down to the line where Cody in Frankfurt, Cody Davidson, is pretty much making it mandatory that all testing be done online TABE. In fact, I'm scheduled to go to another PD in September, I'm not sure exact date, for the TABE online. And the reason why they're wanting to do that is because it's going to be changing, hopefully by the first of the year, and it will be more reflective and more in line with the GED. So those of you who have just the part-time classes, the special classes, para-ed, computer, those classes, the pre-test, the pre-test needs to be done online. The post-test needs to be done online. So if a pre-test is given online and you're not sure how to use the TABE online for the post-test, go to get the schedule book and schedule that student to do a post-test. Just make sure you notate in there what level and tested it. So if they took a 9A, a 10A, then post-test will be a 9A. And make sure you tell us if it's reading, math, language, or whatever. Alrighty? And the same thing goes with GED readies. Make sure those get scheduled in the book. Those normally are, most of those I think were showing up at nighttime, and Mike is doing them on Mondays and Tuesday evenings. And those really will not start until after he has had orientation. So don't tell them to come in at 4:30 to do the GED ready, because he's not ready for them. That won't be until about 5 o'clock before he's done with his orientation and getting the GED people started. So just tell them when you sign them up, say, hey, you can come to class for 30 minutes, and then when Mike's done with his orientation, you can go in there and do your GED ready. Just make sure in the logbook that you put GED ready and which one they're doing. Math, reading, language, science, social studies. If they're doing 2, if they have time to do 2, that's fine. But just make sure that they get in there after he's done the orientation. If they can't come during nighttime for a post-test or a pre-test, I'm here during the daytime every single day of the week. You just can't say, I'll go in at any time. Make sure you've checked with me and said, Aileen, when would be a good time? Because we do have computer lab, open computer lab during that time, and sometimes it is being used. So make sure that you let me know ahead of time that someone's going to be coming, and I'll make sure that I'm in there and I've got everything set up for you. Okay, I'm the backup testing person. So if that's that. We have had several post tests so far, and we're doing a good job with that. You guys are doing an excellent job. I know you're all freaking out about some of the changes, but I think the most important one is the CARES. Logging, making sure the students sign in, sign out electronically. If they do not have a username or password, of course, that is when you just keep continuing on the sign-in sheet, both in the manila folder. And of course, I always want to keep the one at the front table just as a backup in case someone forgets to sign in or sign out. If you do not have the orange mark on your folder, then that means I haven't enrolled them yet. Alrighty. So I think that's about everything that I've had to discuss. I hope that you take the time to really watch this, and I look forward to continuing with a good year. And like I said, if you haven't turned in your 6 weeks report yet, just get those to me as soon as you possibly can, and I will see you in the office. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.